Hi everyone, this is future at Dr. Ryan on Instagram, or Ryan Luna, and this is my first YouTube video, so thank you for listening in. I started a popular Instagram account about a year ago, and I just hit 10,000 followers, so if you're coming here from my Instagram, thank you so much for all the support that you've given me. So I finished my first year of medical school, and I'm very proud of myself. I passed, and I learned a lot. I really did learn a lot about myself. Okay, so are you interested in becoming a doctor? Because if you are, I definitely have some advice that goes beyond just the kind of grades you need to make, the MCAT score you need, extracurriculars and stuff. There are plenty of resources out there, articles, you can look it up online, and there's great advice on, what you need to do academically. I kind of want to talk about the outside part of just school and ways that you can set yourself up for success mentally and just as a person, because we're not robots, medical students. We do study hard, and pre-med's anyone really. Okay, so first I kind of want to address kind of just advice on knowing what kind of doctor you want to become. I've met 18-year-olds and high school students who are dead set on becoming cardiovascular surgeons or neurologists or psychiatrists, whatever. And I think that's great. I think it's really awesome to have a field that you're interested in, because when you get to medical school, you can reach out to the department and maybe get involved in research or volunteer opportunities, and that looks great on your resume. But at the same time, I also think it's really important to have an open mind and not be just dead set on one field, because there's so many options out there that you haven't explored, and you may find that you love during your third year when you go to rotations. During your first semester of medical school, you most likely will take an anatomy course, and that is where you are assigned to a human body, or a cadaver is what it's called, people who are absolutely incredible and choose to donate their body to science. And what you do is you basically dissect an entire human body. And that's something I didn't really know that you do until I think the end of my college experience. And so being thrown into the lab was absolutely incredible. It was a huge, huge gift to be able to learn from beyond your textbooks. And at the same time, it kind of, made me realize maybe surgery is something I could do, which is something I never considered before. I'm not saying I want to become a surgeon, I'm not sure yet, but it's great to keep your options open instead of being dead set on just one field. But it's also good to have your interests. So, having a balance. Number 2 is learning how to tell people no, because this can be kind of hard. Ever since we're little, we seek validation from others. And let's say you want to go to the restroom, in school. You had to make sure that your teacher was cool with it. Or if you wanted to go hang out with a friend on the weekend, you had to ask your parents or guardians, and your friends' parents or guardians also had to approve, and you had to go through an entire process. The decisions you made were always kind of dictated by those overlooking you. And it's needed because, as a child you need supervision. And the thing is when you turn 18 and you all of a sudden become an adult, people don't really tell you that you don't have to have everyone else's best interest in mind, as long as you're being a moral person. If there's a friend that you don't really think is that great to you, who wants to hang out, and you tell them no and they get upset or something, you just need to remember that you do you. You don't have to seek validation from others. You don't have to continue to make sure that other people are okay with what you're doing. You are the leader in your life. There are 7 billion people out there. Surround yourself around those who lift you up. The one thing I always ask myself if I am making a new friend, are they truly happy for you? Are they truly happy for you? Because you can have a friend who's nice and who likes to hang around you, but if they're not really happy for you when things go well, that's kind of an indication that maybe they're not the best person to hang around. Are they someone you admire in ways that maybe they are really healthy, or they're really smart, or they have qualities of things you want to attain one day, because you are the average of the people you surround yourself around. And I'm sure you've heard that before. That's something I really applied in medical school. In college, I was still able to hang out with friends a lot. I had more free time, I think. But when you get to medical school, you really have to filter who you keep in your life and then who you don't. And it can be hard. There are even great people, you know, they're awesome people that I don't have, like, really have the time to talk to anymore. And it's not like I don't like them, it's just I know that these 2 years of preclinicals and then my 2 years after are very important, and I'm trying to learn everything I can so that when I become a doctor, I have everything in my mind and I know what to look for in real life scenarios. So saying no is okay. So number 3, medical school, college, being like a pre-medical student is hard. People will refer to it as hell, but there are so many positives to being in the medical field. And you can look at the negatives in any situation, but it is such a gift to get up every day and go to school and learn just about everything that can go wrong with the human body. And it's so satisfying being able to go to like a clinic and volunteer and recognize like, oh, this person might have this, and you help them. I can't even put it into words. Yes, there's so much time that you dedicate, but always having a positive mindset is so important. And it's easy to get negative. It's very easy to focus on all the negatives, but try to shift, your frame of mind to, yes, I have to study a lot, but there are people who would love to be in my shoes, who would love to be able to get an education and learn the kind of stuff I have right in front of me, because knowledge is power. And I am just a huge advocate of always being optimistic, because negativity and being pessimistic just eats away at you. If you find that you're surrounding yourself around people who are pessimistic, maybe sort of filter them out a little bit, kind of keep your distance, because it makes a huge difference. Number 4, one way to stay optimistic is by utilizing your school's counseling services. I cannot emphasize this enough, and it's something I never actually did until I got to medical school, but most colleges and most medical schools have free counseling services. And it's where you can go in, you can get assigned a therapist, and you can totally just vent about everything going on in your life. And you don't even have to necessarily be sad and depressed or feeling like all these like a range of emotions, but just having a free therapist available, something that you pay for in your tuition, is so awesome. And whether it's once a month or once a week, it's great to build a relationship with someone who can constantly be there for you and just hear you out and give you advice. If you find yourself jealous of other people, you can talk to them about it and they can give you advice. If you are constantly stressed out, they can give you stress management advice. If you can't sleep, they can do that. But it's really important that if there is a mental health problem going on in your life, that it gets caught, because it's sometimes hard to see it within yourself, because you know that you're you, and it's kind of hard to add a label to yourself. But seriously, like, that can make or break your academic performance, is if you are battling mental health issues and you kind of just put them to the side. I really, really value my time not studying. I don't get much time off, and just finding comfort in something like fun that you like to do, whether it's like going and working out or going to church or like playing a sport. It can be a lot of things, painting, art. Find something that you kind of like to do on the side. I know this is like kind of savage of me to say, it's like not your like stereotypical advice, but if you like to like go out and dance after a big exam or like go to a party with friends, do it. Like, recharge and don't try to like isolate yourself and turn into like a robot. But of course, stay focused on school, don't go crazy. One last thing I want to recap on is, how do you know if medicine is for you? How do you know if being a doctor is for you? Well, I recommend putting yourself out there and trying to see different specialties, or kind of see what the life of a doctor is like. And if you find yourself not engaged at all and you're not enjoying it, don't let that get you down, because maybe it's just not the right specialty for you, or it's just not the right like environment. But at some point you want to be able to shadow someone and say, wow, I can see myself doing this for the rest of my life, because I'm not staring at the clock, I'm not wondering when it's time to go, and I'm not like totally miserable. And if you really just don't see it in medicine, then I'm going to tell you, don't go for it. Like, don't go for it, because it's a lot of work and you have to really like it. And the hours I spend studying, I always remember, like, this is what I love, even if it's really hard and I'm totally overwhelmed. I always remember, like, okay, Ryan, like, you love this. You love this stuff. And yeah, so my advice is just put yourself out there, stay persistent with school. You have to be a good student. And don't get down on yourself if things don't go well, because you can always turn around your performance and you can always try again and again. So with that, thank you so much. Like I said, my name is Future at Dr. Ryan, dr.ryan, on Instagram. So totally follow me on there if you liked this video. And this is my new YouTube channel, so please subscribe. And thank you all so much for listening.